Hi, I'm Greg Schaefer, and welcome to the virtual CISO moment. Recently, a couple months back, I had the opportunity to record a few conversations at the Middle Tennessee ISACA conference. This is conversation number 3. It's with Will Klotz. He is a senior information security consultant at GuidePoint Security. Fascinating conversation. Hope you'll enjoy it. Hi, I'm Greg Schaefer. We're back here at the ISACA Middle Tennessee conference. Will Klotz joins us today to talk about some InfoSec stuff. Will, thank you so much for taking a few minutes from this great conference to chat.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
So who are you and what do you do?
I'm Will Klotz. I work for GuidePoint Security. I'm a senior security consultant and concentrating in the risk area for them.
And what does a senior security consultant concentrating in the risk area do?
A lot of risk assessments start out, but really to build onto that, kind of the senior role is looking more at advising risk programs, trying to help them get to the next level and to mature and to become not just a lot of disparate ideas, instead more just a continual process.
And tell me a little bit about the type of client that GuidePoint has that you work with.
We have all sorts of clients. We're a cybersecurity specific consulting firm. So we have small range and then we'll have Fortune 100s. So we're all over the place.
Well, as folks that have listened and watched the virtual CISO moment, you all know that I'm passionate about small and mid-sized business security. So I want to focus on that for a minute. You've obviously had a lot of experience working with those types of clients in the past and continue to do so. What would you say today is one or a couple of the most significant InfoSec threats that those types of businesses face?
For me, it's what I see is not knowing your risks, and that is not being able to find them and to be able, like, we live in a world still very much in a qualitative risk world. So you have your reds, your yellows, your greens. And what I see in the industry right now is a move towards quantitative risk, which really helps understand and articulate risk better. So you end up in these situations where your cyber risk team, they know, okay, well, this is a concern, but then all they have is their little red, yellow colors to show the business. So we need to be able to articulate with the business better. It's an overall issue in all of cybersecurity, but I think it's really hard with a smaller and mid-sized business where they don't necessarily have the resources to be able to pull in someone to do a complete FAIR methodology and revamp the entire risk program all at once.
See, now I was about to say I was going to ask you a fair question, but you took my pun away from me. But some folks may not quite understand the difference between qualitative and quantitative information security risk. I'm a big quantitative risk fan. I'm Open Fair certified, so we can certainly speak that language. But outside of the traffic light heat map stuff, what is the difference?
I'm Open Fair certified too, so we're brothers there. So good to know. Hey, wonderful organization. Yeah, and I've enjoyed getting to work in that area. And so I grew up. I started out in the military, and that's how I got into information security. Then I actually did work for a smaller bank and a mid-sized fintech, and on those, it was everything qualitative. It's kind of as we're growing up looking at that. And we had that continual frustration of people not understanding it, not understanding what we're telling them. We understand it on the cyber risk side, on the IT side, but the business simply does not, because we can get in the weeds and talk about a vulnerability, but then they glaze over and we lose them. Quantitative is a step towards trying to bridge that gap and speak kind of the universal business language, which is dollars and cents. So how do you quantify your assets? How much is this asset worth? How much is this data worth? You can start inputting that into formulas and using something like FAIR, run some simulations and see, get a range of costs. Okay, this is what, if you lose control of PCI data, here's what it could ultimately cost your organization. And that's because that's the way the rest of the organization looks at risk. So then they can put that on a organization level risk register and be able to prioritize your projects better.
Well, and you mentioned, you said you worked in banking for a bit, right?
Yes.
Yep. So banking by its nature is so much like risk management oriented.
Yeah.
There's like, I think 8 or 9 different levels of risk: compliance risk, regulatory risk, reputational risk, all those things. And most of them are quantified as well too.
Yeah.
Why does the information security industry seem to lag behind that?
I think it was the organic growth of us. I mean, cybersecurity came up as a need. Like we had this we always have huge advancements in technology. And then, okay, how do we secure this? How do we start to get some frameworks and stuff behind it? So you got organically a bunch of people that were early adapters of just being straight up computer nerds. So we loved getting in the weeds. We loved the technical, not necessarily the business acumen. That's something that, is coming more and more. I went out and I made sure I got an MBA so I can speak that business language a little bit better. I'm working on my CISM certification just to be able to bridge that gap. And because I feel like that's a really, really important aspect of what we can and should be doing.
I totally agree. That's one of the things to talk about on the podcast a lot as well too, that those who are really successful as advisors, like we sort of play in the same space a little bit, but do the virtual CISO work. But there are folks out there that do virtual CISO work, but they focus more on the tech and they don't really have that risk management mindset. And so I completely agree with you that I think we're migrating towards that area. The conference. So how do you like it so far?
Enjoying it very much. It's a really, really great group here. I'm new to the Nashville area, so it's a good opportunity for me to network a little bit. Yeah, thank you. Wonderful to be here.
We just met, so
yeah.
What do you hope to get out of this? Networking, I guess.
Yep, networking is definitely a big part of it, but I love the idea of understanding the idea of digital trust a little bit more. It's a great theme. Really drew me in. The first speaker talking kind of about a digital trust framework. I thought that was really interesting, although it did tend towards the qualitative side of things once again. So
right. Well, that's what most people understand.
Exactly. Yep. And I think, but it's nice. I think it's, you start being able to link all these ideas and concepts together. And, I've been in the industry long enough now, and I've, played in all sorts of different spaces in it. So I'm really hoping to continue to push myself and learn more about how to bring us all together. Not just, I know there's a presentation later on about talking with your CROs as well, your risk officers, your financial officers. And that's really what I want to get out of the conference, is just to continually learn that language and get better at communicating what I need and to be able to be in the same playing field with everyone so we can work together to make all of our businesses more secure and ultimately get what the business needs.
That's awesome. One final question. So you mentioned prior service. What branch?
Army, 8 years.
I was Air Force. I was reserves.
I forgive you.
Desert. I did serve in Desert Storm. So
okay.
But boy, we had air conditioned tents. It was so hard. I always like to ask service members who transitioned over from service to civilian, what's one of the things that you brought from your military career that has helped you in information security?
I would actually say the teamwork. If anything, the military is a negative side, it's the silos of all, okay, you can do this much, but, getting together with that team, working as a platoon or as a company and driving towards that same goal, and just the camaraderie that you do that. Like, I've been able to translate that. It's like, I want camaraderie on all my teams now because I was able to experience that in the military. So I think that was one of the biggest takeaways that's helped me personally and professionally.
Awesome. Well, Will, it was great meeting you. Have a great time at the rest of the conference. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us today.
Absolutely.
All right.